Hey guys, welcome back to Paradise. So last night, me and Heather were sitting up chatting like we always do, and got into a discussion about something that I thought maybe would be useful to a lot of people out there on YouTube, and they're looking at getting into nomading and traveling, SUV, truck, camper, RV, whatever type of vehicle you want to be in. And that is the topic of bugs and how many bugs do we ended up like having in our camper. And in our case, we have 3 dogs, so it's definitely a lot of in and out with dogs and dirt and everything else. And obviously they're laying out all day, have bugs crawling on them and flies and stuff, and we really don't do much with them. We just let them go in and let them go out whenever they want. So a lot of in and out, a lot of dirt and stuff. And we've we've really been actually amazed at the lack of bugs that we've had in our camper. And considering we have lots of food in there and we cook and there's crumbs everywhere, which the dogs usually clean up the floor pretty well, but obviously bugs can go anywhere, so the flies and stuff. It's actually pretty amazing the little amount of bugs that we have. And there's still like holes that go to the outside and stuff, but not major ones. Because we have the screens up top in the pop-up camper, and the doors usually closed, so it's like those are the main things that keep the bugs out. Obviously there's little holes that could have things crawling, and usually have ants like everywhere, but we've never really had an issue with ants ever, I think. We occasionally have flies and mosquitoes or gnats or whatever like that, but that's just kind of opening the door, they go in and they come back out. And occasionally we have like the really small spiders. So they can crawl anywhere. So who knows? They might be able to get through the screens and stuff. But there's little holes like where the poles go through and stuff. So there's spots where they could still like crawl through if they wanted to. But we just thought it was pretty amazing that we really don't have a lot of ants, considering the dogs are outside. They usually have them crawling on them and stuff, and they come in, and we never really see any. So we have a couple reasons why I think that is the way it is. One, I try to keep it clean inside. Not really clean from like food scraps, I guess, because we're always cooking, so that just kind of is what it is. But more like shaking out blankets and things like that. It's more for the dirt because the dog's bringing so much dirt. I try to keep those shook out, and so we actually have like a bed on the floor too. So if we need more room, one of us can sleep down there or wherever. But some of the dogs sleep down there. But so right when you jump in, there's a bed. So there's lots of dirt and stuff that usually hangs out on the floor, and then there's the couch, and then there's the bed upstairs. So each level has dirt that gets dropped on it. So I shake them out regularly, especially the ones on the bottom, because that's where everybody's always at, on the floor. And then I think the biggest takeaway to not get bugs in your house is to move a lot. Just don't be sedentary. Getting a bird. Don't sit for too long. Like we usually stay for like at least a week or two at each spot, and they really like the ants and bugs and stuff don't really show up, which they'll show up, but as long as you don't like disturb their land, they really don't really care about you. Like they have their own food source, they have their own water source, that's how they are fine with before you were there and fine after you leave. So they're not going to invade your place unless you stay there for a long time. Hey, so can we leave it for a second? So that's kind of a big thing, because we don't spray pesticides. We don't believe in any of that. We don't want that around with the dogs around and us around and everything like that. And Heather's allergic to DEET, so we can't use that for bug spray and stuff. So we just don't use anything. We're just all natural. So yeah, move around a lot, and that seems to help, because we've noticed that if you ever go to somebody's place, that especially in like these little HOA communities now, in order to make that, they literally scrape everything off the land, and then they build your house on top of that. I'm like, well, the ants are still there. Now they're just living underneath your house. And a lot of these houses are getting invasions of ants and other animals and insects and stuff like that. It's like, well, it's where they lived, and now there's no food for them to go to because you scraped it and took it away. So now where are they going to get food? Well, they're going to get it in your house. And of course, they're going to find ways to get into your house. So that's why a lot of these places have infestations, and then they have to use tons of pesticides and kind of be bathed in it in order to not have the ants and stuff come into your house. So I I just thought it was pretty interesting. We've never really had, you know, that crazy line of ants that are like coming up into your vehicle somewhere. We've never had an issue with it. So if you're out there and you're thinking about traveling or you're traveling right now, that's kind of our best tip is one, kind of keep it tidy and put stuff away and move a lot. And so two stories, when the two craziest things we've had in the camper is one night we thought we had a bat in the camper. It was dark out, so when it's dark out, we usually just leave the screen door open because there's really not a lot out during the night. The bugs kind of go away. And we thought a bat was in there because we could like hear it pinging off the canvas. And so I went in and I was like, oh, I don't know how to get this thing out. So we're like, okay, trying to figure out. So we had the front hatch open, or the front escape zipper open, but it doesn't stay open. You have to like hold it open. So we had that open in the back door, and it turned out it was a hawk moth. So we're like, oh, well, okay. Either way, it was pretty big. So we had to get a blanket and like kind of drape it to the door, and then finally got it out. And the second one is we had a tarantula in the bed. So, but that was, I think, our fault because we were doing a lot of traveling at that point, just kind of staying in a spot for a night, and then it was, we had something going on, but we just kept moving a lot, and sometimes we'll leave some stuff sit outside. Like if we have some boxes that we have stuff in, and then we put it outside, but most of the time we usually put it up front. But if we stay at a night at a spot, maybe I'll just be tired or something, and I'll just leave it sit out, and then things crawl into it, and then you put it in the truck the next morning when you leave, and then it's in your camper. So one night we had a tarantula in the camper, which I think we put it in there, and then we got to camp, or we drove all day and got to camp, and Heather went and laid up in bed, and it was literally above her on the ceiling, and so we almost had to burn the camper down that day. But I got it out. It was fun. But anyways, yeah, just don't leave stuff sitting out. That was food and stuff, and then it's nice having like the plastic crates that have like the lids on them, because then nothing can really get into it to get into your camper. You can kind of just wipe it off before you get it in. So anyways, that's my tip for today, guys. If you're looking out, thinking about joining the nomad community and getting out there and worried about bugs and stuff, it's really not too big of an issue if you don't stay in a spot for too long, and just don't disturb the land too much. Don't be digging in ant hills and they won't come and bother you. So I hope you guys found this handy, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.